Now on CoastTV News.
The big question, Lewes or Rehoboth? ClearSpace Theater weighs where to build its new home. And No Kings 2, another nationwide day of protest, is set for this weekend. Top lawmakers share their thoughts on the movement.
And we're seeing temperatures quickly dropping through the 40s this evening. A slight chance of frost tomorrow morning. Otherwise, a chilly start, but warming up for the weekend. Forecast details coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good Friday evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight with a nationwide protest planned for tomorrow. It aims to broadly reject what organizers describe as President Trump's authoritarian agenda. As Sherelle Hubbard reports, Saturday's protest is happening amid an ongoing government shutdown, immigration raids, and National Guard troops deploying to American cities.
The No Kings protest returns Saturday. This was the scene in June when some 5 million people across the U.S. took to the streets to protest the Trump administration. Organizers say this weekend will be even bigger, with more than 2,500 demonstrations in all 50 states.
I support the right of every single American to participate in the rallies that are going to take place this week. And showing up to express dissent against an out-of-control administration. That's as American as motherhood, baseball, and apple pie.
The protests take place against the backdrop of the ongoing government shutdown, tension over immigration raids, and federal troops being deployed to Democratic-led cities. Republican leaders are calling Saturday's protests anti-American.
The No Kings rally this weekend, do you think you can make progress once that's over?
I sure hope so. Are you talking about the Hate America rally? That's what we call it, because it'll be a collection of Antifa, BLM, the Marxists, wild leftist policy priorities, and that'll be on display for the whole country.
Organizers say they are planning for peaceful demonstrations, in clear contrast to the Trump administration's show of force.
It's because they are worried that they are losing their grip on power. They are worried that other people in blue states, red states, and purple states, in rural communities, in Trump country, are going to see the public doesn't support this, and that makes them scared.
Organizers say Saturday will be the largest single-day protest in modern history. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
All right, now we're looking live into Lewes, and surely you're anxious to hear about your weekend forecast. So let's turn it over to our meteorologist, Bob Trihy.
We're seeing very chilly conditions this Friday evening. All the ingredients are in place for very chilly conditions as we have high pressure overhead, light winds, and clear skies. Already dropping to 43 in Gumboro right now, 43 in Dagsboro, 44 in Willards, 44 in Laurel as well. A little milder at the beaches, 56 in Lewes, Rehoboth 53, Indian River Inlet right now at 55 as the winds have finally gone calm. A little bit of a breeze along the coast, but those relentless winds have finally lightened up with high pressure overhead. Here's a satellite picture. You can see kind of a white complexion to the satellite. That's the cold air reflecting back to space. We've got lots of clear skies out there right now as high pressure is settling overhead, and then that will set the stage once again for a very chilly night. An outside chance of frost well inland, while we are looking at some clouds farther back to the west in the Ohio Valley. Those clouds will move in tomorrow, and then a cold front farther to the west. I think that will trigger some rain Sunday night into Monday. But here's Futurecast this evening. I think these temperatures are a little high. I think we're going to be falling into the low 40s. Inland areas, maybe some upper 30s well inland. And then waking up tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., around 40 in Delmar, 41 in Seaford. Once again, an outside chance of some light frost and even some 40s at the coast as we go into tomorrow morning. And then we're looking at mid to high level clouds developing during the day, but even with the clouds, it's going to be warmer with temperatures into the mid to upper 60s. As we go into this evening, we're looking at those temperatures falling through the 40s with calm conditions, and then we do have a warm up as we head into the weekend with a slight chance of rain later Sunday into Monday. More on that coming up a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. Now to Dewey Beach, where Town Council continued conversations about canopies on the beach today. An ordinance was passed back in December which prohibits canopies from being left alone on the beach before 9 a.m. And the town has used orange tags in an effort to inform people who break the rule before giving out citations.
When we try to get people to learn things, it's about education first and enforcement second. This being new, the canopies on the beach can't be unoccupied before 9 o'clock. We got to educate the public on that.
Yeah, Zolper also noted that because this ordinance was in its first year, they want to give the public time to adjust. Coastal Sussex County is set to get a new performing arts center, but where that's going to go, it's a matter of debate. This here is the Clear Space Theater in Rehoboth Beach. The theater's director says they're looking to expand, and they've zeroed in on 2 locations to do that. One's in Lewes and one is in Rehoboth. In Lewes, they would own the land, but in Rehoboth, they would lease it. Rehoboth Beach officials signed off on a drafted agreement today, and they plan to send a letter of intent to the theater. The director says the main difference between the 2 locations is, like we just said, that they would own the land in Lewes, but they would have to lease it in Rehoboth Beach.
That's the primary difference between what the 2 arrangements might look like. In the case of the plan with Rehoboth Beach, since you'd be on city land, it would be a true public-private partnership with this municipality, whereas in Lewes, anything that might be considered in support of this would be incentives.
Lewes's mayor and Rehoboth Beach officials say the decision on where to go is now in the hands of theater leadership. The theater's director did not say when that decision would be made. Well, the crowds at the beach have certainly died down, but city officials in Rehoboth Beach say they want to make the boardwalk and the bandstand safer. As Emma Aiken shows us, city officials today decided to go ahead and authorize a contract to get a new security program going.
The Rehoboth Beach Bandstand is home to a lot of events and concerts, and a lot of car traffic and foot traffic too. The city wants to make the space safer. They want to add 32 bollards on Rehoboth Avenue around the bandstand, and 35 of the same posts at the boardwalk. 2 swing gates to close off traffic during events are also in the city's plans. Irene Pidcock says barriers to limit driving around the circle are a good idea.
So at least during the summertime when they have all those concerts, it gets very crowded in that area and not safe for pedestrians if you're not being careful and looking before you cross over.
The city says the price tag for the security program is $1.1 million. Charles LaPresto, who lives in Rehoboth, says maybe not.
My concern is it's a lot of money for something that, thank God, we haven't had a problem with thus far. So I would think no at this point unless I could see more evidence as to why we need them.
Life around the bandstand goes on as the city weighs next steps for safety.
And that was Emma Aiken reporting. So as far as the timeline for the project, it's going to be built just in time for the busy summer season. The city says the barriers will be up by the middle of May. Starting November 16th, there are new rules to follow for anyone who wants to buy a handgun. Firearm safety courses, fingerprints, and photographs. Also, you're still going to need to get a background check. Now, even though this law permit to purchase, it passed about a year ago, the reactions are ramping up today as the rule is about to go live.
The new permit to purchase gun law kicks in next month, and people have opinions about it.
I think it's useless.
I think it's okay.
Under the new law, which takes effect November 16th, anybody looking to buy or transfer a handgun in Delaware will need to get a permit, but that's controversial.
It's an impediment. It doesn't do anything to reduce crime.
Jeff Haig is the president of the Delaware State Sportsman Association. He's been pushing back on this plan since the day it was signed about a year ago.
We're against them. We think it's not constitutional. We don't think it'll do any good.
But Tracy Murphy, the executive director of the Coalition for a Safer Delaware, disagrees, and she even points to a recent ruling as backup.
Earlier this year, the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, declined to hear a challenge to Maryland's handgun purchaser law. So we know that these laws are not only effective, they're also constitutional.
Ron Hagan, the owner of Best Shot, a gun shop, sees a lot of problems with the soon-to-be enacted plan.
People that are going to come in and not be able to purchase handguns because they haven't been able to submit or they have submitted and they didn't receive their information back on time, or they don't have the money to complete the requirements of a training class, of the fingerprinting.
Some people we spoke with had cautious optimism.
I think as long as the requirements don't impede the average law-abiding citizen from obtaining the handgun that they choose to and are approved for, then I think it's okay, yeah.
While this has always been a two-sides issue, Tracy Murphy claims these policies are not only popular, they're effective.
Nearly 3/4 of Americans support laws like this one. And the states with the lowest gun death rates in the nation all have a version of permit to purchase.
Gun control will remain a hot topic across the nation as laws like permit to purchase are implemented, challenged, and where they hold up, researched. But even with more information, there is virtually no shot that everyone's going to agree on this one.
Last year, gun rights groups, including the NRA, sued Delaware over a 2022 law requiring permits and training to buy a handgun. They said it violated the Second Amendment, but courts dismissed that case and a federal appeals court backed that decision. This does bring us to our Coast TV poll tonight because we want to know, how do you feel about needing a permit to buy a handgun? Let's look at the results now. I mean, most people have made up their minds about this. Not too many people still deciding or having mixed feelings, but 54% say they support it and 43% say they oppose it. And you can still let us know what you think about this. Head over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app, and we have those updated results online. A heads up for drivers on Route 1 near Milton. For the last week of the month, DelDOT has work scheduled to begin on Monday, October 27th. The department says crews will install pavement markings and signs to reconfigure crossovers on Route 1 between Broadkill River and Red Fox Lane. According to DelDOT, this will improve safety by reducing conflict points. During the work, drivers should expect delays due to lane closures. And this busy Milford intersection is about to get a major upgrade. The city says a new roundabout is coming to Airport Road and Canterbury Road. Airport Road is expected to close October 27th until March, and Canterbury Road will follow on November 24th, also till March. City leaders say the project is needed to handle traffic from the growing Milford Corporate Center, but neighbors are divided about whether a roundabout is really the right move.
It's very difficult to get out of the lane now, and I think it's going to cause a lot of congestion.
It's a good idea for them to put the roundabout in between Airport Road and Canterbury Road because they're about to build an industrial park over there. So once they get finished building that, I know it's going to be like a lot of traffic.
City leaders say detours will be posted during the project and access to local businesses and homes will be maintained. And we still have more news to tell you about. Coming up, a lane change. Ocean City's bus lane could soon become a bike lane. People, of course, have opinions about that. But first, we have cute, creepy, and cool things to do this weekend. And coming up, Bob Trihy is in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He has your warmer weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Well, Delmarva has a lot of range this weekend, a lot of different events. Some are adorable, some are spooky and scary, some are just cool. We'll start with adorable. Brandywine Valley SPCA is hosting Bark on the Boards Saturday morning in Rehoboth Beach. It's a super fun event. There's a dog diving competition, so that's what you just saw. Also a costume contest, and if you're looking for a new pet, they're going to have adoptable pets there on the boardwalk. Now we'll turn it over to spooky. Hudson Fields in Milton is going to be taken over by zombies on Saturday night. Milton Zombie Fest. It's an annual event, and this year's theme is apocalypse. It's also the first time they're having it at Hudson Fields rather than downtown Milton. So it's going to be new this year. There's freak shows, there's food trucks, and more. Or you can head over to Houston on either weekend day or both days. You can even camp out overnight there for the Delmarva Folk Fest. It's a musical event, but it's not just music. There's also crafting and some family-friendly activities. Also, Southern Delaware Therapeutic Riding is holding their 9th annual Barn Dance on Saturday night. It's a fundraiser. There's barbecue, there's dancing, and proceeds benefit equine-assisted therapy programs. Camp Rehoboth has a block party on Sunday. It's from 11 to 4. There's going to be dozens of vendors. It's on the second block of Baltimore Avenue. There's going to be performances and art. Also, entrance is free, but donations are encouraged. And you can find details about all of these events over on CoastTV.com. You just have to click on cool things to do.
It was an absolutely gorgeous Friday across Delmarva, wall-to-wall sunshine, but it was on the chilly side. Temperatures running a few degrees below average, 64 in Georgetown and Salisbury, also Dover, 64, 63 in Cambridge and Ocean City. It was a beautiful day. It was just a little breezy and chilly, and speaking of that, tonight we're seeing clear skies, light winds, and those temperatures quickly falling through the 40s. I think we could see some 30s interior areas of Delmarva as we go into tonight. So if you're a little nervous about the tender plants, just cover them just in case. There's a slight chance of light frost by Saturday morning. Then for the weekend, mild, pretty nice, staying dry, a warmer Sunday. I think the rain holds off until Sunday night, but these temperatures right now really dropping quickly. 42 in Dagsboro, 43 in Gumboro, and Longneck, 45 in Millsboro, with Red Net 43. A little milder at the coast. 50 Bethany Beach, 53 in Rehoboth, and 55 in Lewes. As the winds have gone calm, just a little bit of a breeze at the coast. Of course, those winds have been relentless the last couple of days, but now they're calming down. And here's the satellite picture. It has that white complexion to it, kind of milky as that cold air is reflecting back to space as we have the clear skies over the top of us and high pressure pretty much right over us, setting us up for that chilly night. While we do have some clouds back to the west in the Ohio Valley, these will be moving in as we go into Saturday, but it's going to be warming up ahead of this front, triggering showers across the plains, and that front will be moving in Sunday night, giving us a chance of rain at that time. But futurecast tonight, I think these temperatures running a little warm. I think we're in the low 40s, maybe some upper 30s as we go into Saturday morning. The farther inland you go, at the beach is close to 50, and then the clouds increase tomorrow, but with the clouds it gets milder into the mid to upper 60s in the afternoon hours. And then tomorrow night, clear skies and not as chilly Sunday morning with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Then the winds pick up out of the south, and by mid-afternoon on Sunday we're in the mid to upper 70s. And then we watch a cold front move in Sunday night, and that's going to trigger showers, maybe a rumble of thunder, maybe some heavier rain, and maybe some gusty winds. Not expecting severe weather, but certainly some robust showers moving through very early Monday and then clearing it out. Along the coast on Saturday, upper 60s around Lewes, 68 in Dewey Beach, Bethany Beach around 66, and Chincoteague 68 with light winds. And we'll see those winds go calm tomorrow morning and then shift out of the south as we go into later Saturday and Sunday. And they get pretty strong later Sunday, gusting over 30 miles per hour Sunday evening, with that best rain chance coming in on Sunday and Monday, and then again on Tuesday. 42 tonight, clear skies and chilly. 68 tomorrow, partly cloudy, not as cool. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, real nice on Sunday. 75, then that rain Sunday night, maybe a rumble of thunder into Monday morning. 65, 70 Tuesday, another chance of rain Wednesday. 63, and then cool again and dry at the end of the week, mid 60s, and overnight lows in the 40s.
Alrighty, thanks again, Bob. Well, the bus lane on Coastal Highway in Ocean City could be getting a shakeup. The State Highway Administration is looking at potentially replacing it with a lane dedicated strictly for bicycles. Some people say clearer markings and enforcement could help, whatever the design is.
From my understanding, they're still working on the plans, so it's hard to have an opinion about it until the SHA and releases the plan so that you can understand and conceptualize what it is.
So supporters argue a dedicated lane could give bicyclists a predictable path and reduce conflicts at pinch points. But others worry shifting buses into general traffic could slow summer travel. The city says any change would go through public workshops before heading to the mayor and town council, with more details still to come. Today marks a heartbreaking anniversary for the Maryland State Police and local law enforcement. 30 years ago, Trooper First Class Edward Plank was shot and killed in the line of duty in Princess Anne. He was 28 years old and he left behind a wife, a daughter, and his parents. Today we spoke with his mother, Sandy. She shared a few stories about her son's career, and they truly encapsulate the type of police officer and person that Edward was.
He said, "Your son stopped me." And my little boy said, "Mommy, is he going to arrest you?" And Eddie said, "No, I'm not. I'm just going to tell your mother that she needs to wear her seatbelt." So she was, everybody that I've ever met that he had even stopped told me how nice he was.
Shortly after 1 a.m.,
Switching gears now to artificial intelligence. As it continues to grow, so do concerns around safety, particularly for minors. And this week, California passed first of its kind legislation in the nation to regulate AI chatbots. Reporter Maribel Gonzalez is in Los Angeles with testimony from one mother who says more safeguards could have helped prevent the death of her son.
Megan Garcia says she wants parents to know about the risk with AI chatbots, which can take on like human texts and human voices. She says these kinds of interactions make it difficult for minors just like her son to distinguish between what is real and what is not. This new legislation would mandate the technology to remind its users that those chatbot responses are artificially generated.
Megan Garcia says her 14-year-old son, Sewell Setzer III, loved to make people laugh.
He was handy with a quick joke for sure.
But in 2023, she noticed a change.
He was more withdrawn, isolating himself in his bedroom, and he wasn't opening up. In February of 2024, he took his own life in our home.
The Florida mother believed an AI chatbot was to blame.
He had been engaging with an AI chatbot over numerous months, and those conversations were both romantic and sexual. He was in a situation where a chatbot was manipulating him.
Garcia is suing the company behind Character AI, alleging the company did not do enough to prevent Setzer from developing a relationship with a chatbot and did not adequately respond when Setzer began expressing thoughts of self-harm, according to the lawsuit. Character AI would not comment on the pending litigation, but say they have introduced new features, including self-harm resources and features focused on the safety of minor users.
We need to protect our kids and our teens and our families from the excesses of this new technology.
California Governor Gavin Newsom signed SB 243. Led by State Senator Steve Padilla, this legislation will require chatbot operators to implement safeguards around interactions with AI.
We have to rapidly rise to meet the challenge to not miss a window to provide reasonable safeguards.
Character AI says that they will comply with these new laws and that they're working with lawmakers on legislation in this emerging space. Now, they also say they consult with external experts focused on teenage safety online. Reporting in Los Angeles, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
Coming up in tonight's Health Minute, late motherhood, why more women are having babies later in life, and what doctors say about the risks.
And lots of fun fall activities like the corn maze. It's going to be great for that this weekend. For your Saturday, we're looking at temperatures in the upper 60s, mostly sunny. More clouds on Sunday, 75. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up a little bit later on.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
A growing number of adults are choosing to start a family or expand their families later in life. And while advanced maternal age carries some added risks, experts say some misconceptions can cause unneeded stress or even discourage some people from trying to get pregnant. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has one woman's story and why her doctor says having an uncomplicated pregnancy at an advanced age, it's possible.
At age 42, Melissa Holmes was set to get a hysterectomy to help with the pain of fibroids. Instead, she got the shock of her life.
About 2 weeks prior to everything being finalized through insurance and things, I found out I was pregnant.
Holmes already had a 22-year-old son from the first time she was pregnant. She wasn't planning to expand her family. And there was one more concern, her age.
When you're older and you're having a baby, you worry about, side effects. Is the baby going to be healthy? Is something going to be wrong with the baby? Or am I going to be able to survive this pregnancy?
It all depends on the health of the individual.
Holmes's OBGYN Dr. Natasha Spencer with Orlando Health says women in their 30s and 40s who don't have major underlying medical conditions and have a healthy lifestyle can have an uncomplicated pregnancy. But experts say overall, when compared to those of younger ages, women of advanced maternal age are at higher risk of complications like gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, labor problems, cesarean delivery. Older women are also at risk of delivering preterm or a child with low birth weight.
That women should, if it's definitely within their heart's desire to speak with their obstetrician gynecologist about pregnancy, despite them being older.
On December 19th, 2023, Holmes delivered a healthy baby boy.
I couldn't imagine my life without him.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A clear and chilly night ahead. A touch of frost well inland. That's possible tomorrow morning. Otherwise, warming up. Mid to upper 60s into the afternoon hours. Congratulations to Mary Devine from Milton on winning a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 75 Sunday, some rain Sunday night into Monday morning, and maybe some gusty winds as well, and maybe a rumble of thunder. Otherwise, looks pretty good on Tuesday, 70, and then another rain chance perhaps by Wednesday around 63, and then kind of cool by the end of the week with mid 60s and lows into the 50s, looking a lot like fall.
Yeah, it looks good. So it's going to be nice for all the cool things to do this weekend.
I think so. Looking really good.
Okay, good. Thanks, Bob. And thanks for joining us for Coast TV News at 11. You can always find more news, more weather on our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's up next. And we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 6 p.m.
And have a great weekend.